KUAM News, winner of the 2022 Regional Edward R. Murrow Award for Excellence in Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for the Culture Club.
KUAM Digital presents a series highlighting the wide array of talents on our island. Whether they're a standout gamer, extreme athlete, performer, or have a unique skill to show off, we're showcasing them every month on Wow Factor. Brought to you by Mountain Dew. Do the Do. Join us in saluting those making strides and serving in our armed forces every Tuesday on the KUAM News Instagram account. These weekly posts round up profiles of Guamanians receiving accolades in the armed forces, those stationed on Guam making a difference in our community, and veterans being recognized for their service. Presented by Future Smiles Orthodontics. Build a brighter future with a brighter smile.
LFG!
A monthly love letter to all the amazing things happening on this island we call home.
From adventures to hidden treasures.
To the familiar things we know and love. Love for Guam. It's your monthly ticket to the best Guam has to offer.
So, LFG!
Watch LFG on the last Thursday of every month. Presented by Pepsi. That's what I like.
Local Music Mashup. For the first 3 Thursdays of every month, sit back, relax, and vibe out as we showcase Guam's local talent through their video submissions. Tune in for Local Music Mashup on KUAM TV8 at 6:30 p.m. and TV11 at 7:30 p.m. Or catch it on KUAM digital platforms. You're not going to want to miss this.
Local Music Mashup is brought to you by Burger King, VK Your Way, and American Music, located in the Compadres Mall.
On September 19th, 2022, Pacific Telestations LLC, licensee of station KUAM TV, Hagåtña, Guam, filed an application with the Federal Communications Commission for renewal of license. Members of the public wishing to view an application or obtain information about how to file comments and petitions on the application can visit publicfiles.fcc.gov and search in the public file for KUAM-TV.
With the rising cost of living and more struggling to make ends meet, it's so important for us to reach out and do what we can to help those in need.
You never know how a small gesture of kindness can provide someone with comfort and nourishment.
That's why we're asking you, our beloved island community, to consider donating canned food items, non-perishable items, or toiletries to the KUAM Care Force annual food drive.
We'll be collecting items here at our studios in Harmon from now until Friday, November 25th.
All donations will be distributed to Salvation Army and Catholic Social Services on Giving Tuesday.
So, donate today.
Every little bit counts, and together, we can make a difference.
Catch KUAM News Hotspot, a multi-platform news program broadcasting and streaming at 11 a.m. on KUAM TV8 Tuesdays through Fridays, with rebroadcasting at 3:30 p.m., as well as live streaming globally on our Facebook Live and YouTube digital platforms. Jason Solis features a blend of local, national, and regional news, plus lifestyle and entertainment features and extended interviews with top newsmakers.
KUAM News Hotspot is brought to you by Pacific Points, Do More, Get More, and Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust. Serving Micronesia since 1938, Matson celebrating 25 years of commitment to Guam, Micronesia, and the CNMI. Cars Plus, Guam's leader in sustainability and electric vehicles. Learn more at carsplusguam.com. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it, and King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime, a killer on the loose. Detectives with Guam police going on more than 48 hours since the deadly shooting unfolded in Dededo over the weekend, claiming one man's life. The village mayor sharing her concern. Plus, a week after Super Tuesday and the races still heating up in the Northern Marianas. Regional correspondent Tomas Manguotña with the latest as the CNMI gets ready for a runoff to pick its governor. And days after becoming a senator-elect, William Parkinson already getting to work pushing for the current legislative speaker to pump the brakes on the anti-abortion bill, urging senators to let the new batch tackle the issue in the new year.
Half a day and good evening, everyone. Welcome to Primetime. I'm Nick Delgado. So glad to have you starting your week with us. Well, a manhunt for a murderer tonight. Investigators head into day 3 in their search for a gunman who shot and killed a man in Dededo over the weekend. Very little is known about the killer other than witnesses telling police the shooter got away in a dark-colored sedan. The village mayor worried for her community as the shooter is on the run.
A quiet area along Chalon Escuela in Dededo is rocked. A man is dead following a shooting at this home. The person who pulled the trigger remains at large.
I was shocked because what happens is that's an area where children traverse to get to school, to and from school. Families drive through there, to get their kids to FB and Simon Sanchez on a daily basis, except for the weekends. But of course I'm concerned because that happened right in that area. And, it being Chamorro land trust property, people are in there living on their land, and then also a lot of farming.
Dededo Mayor Melissa Savars, who is currently off island, heard about the tragedy unfolding in her village on Saturday morning.
I know of 2 families that live there, and I'm just scared for their safety now, I'm concerned, but most especially for the safety of the children and the families getting to and from the school.
Responding officers say the man was found with multiple gunshot injuries. Authorities performed CPR before he was rushed to GRMC, but he didn't survive.
I'm concerned that person is still out there, and I don't know who their next target may be.
The victim's name has not yet been made public. KUAM has learned that investigators spoke with a woman who was at the home. She reported a silver Ford sedan pulled up to the property. The victim then went outside to meet with them before the woman heard at least 2 shots being fired and the car speeding away. Authorities, now more than 48 hours later, remain nowhere closer to locating the killer.
Our prayers go out to the family of the victim, but then importantly to please look out for in your surroundings and be aware of who's around you.
Crime scene detectives are leading the investigation.
The man who stands accused in the murder of Dr. Moran Rabadi was back in local court today. Akmal A.K. Kosiev appeared before Superior Court Judge Maria Senzon to find out when his case could go to trial. The court granting his request to use a licensed psychologist to assist in preparing for his defense. Kosiev was given 10 days to secure the expert witness before returning to court. It was more than a year ago now. Last November, Kosiev allegedly stabbed and killed Dr. Rabadi multiple times. He has since undergone forensic evaluations after he pleaded not guilty by reason of mental illness or defect to aggravated murder charges. A mother accused in the death of her newborn baby now more than 4 years ago could be closer to reaching a plea deal with prosecutors. 27-year-old Melissa Fupel is facing murder, manslaughter, and child abuse charges in the 2018 killing of her infant. She appeared in Superior Court today. The case has been delayed due to prosecutors being shuffled and health issues with her defense attorney. In response to the plea agreement negotiations, Judge Vernon Perez telling the parties today, quote, to make it happen. Fupel's back in court on January 9th. A local cop indicted in a deadly officer-involved shooting in Dededo will go to trial in Superior Court next spring. Guam police officer Justin Kenga, who faces charges of manslaughter and negligent homicide, appearing before Judge Vern Perez today. It was said in court that Kenga's trial is set to begin in April of next year. Kenga remains on duty with the force. It was back in March. He was responding to a report of a man targeting people at a gas station with a slingshot. That man, investigators confirming, was Iope Runoff, who Kenga allegedly shot and killed. Federal prosecutors continuing to see drugs being smuggled in through the mail. That's what was said in court today during sentencing for a couple who admitted to their roles in smuggling meth from California to Guam. The pair spared jail time. Connie Tatautau got 2 years probation. Tatautau, emotional, telling the court she was really sorry and only did it to help someone else in need. Ernest Kenga also sentenced, telling the court he knew he was wrong. The case involving more than 50 grams of the drug ice that the feds intercepted in the mail in 2015. An update to the story we brought you in prime time last Thursday. The trailer stolen from Mighty Purple Cafe has been located. Guam police alerted to it on Friday night in the Lezang area of Barrigada. The trailer, which went missing from Hagatnya near the local courthouse, was gutted out and painted black. Now, authorities are looking for the thieves. Anyone with information is asked to call police or report it to Guam Crime Stoppers. Now to an update on that rugby game riot at a local high school. All players involved in the riot that broke out on November 5th have been removed from their respective teams. The players will no longer be allowed to play for the remainder of the season. The Interscholastic Sports Association's Board of Control, along with Guam High and Southern High, agree to punish the punishment, stating it is a privilege and not a right to play sports. The Sports Association agreeing to take a stance against any fights, adding that any future incidents could lead to expulsion. The Northern Marianas gubernatorial runoff election between Independents Palacios Apatang and Republicans Torres Sablan is set for November 25th. Regional correspondent Tomas Manglotnya has the details.
The gubernatorial runoff election is set for November 25. At Friday's Commonwealth Election Commission special meeting, it was pointed out that the independent team is an unrecognized party.
Although the law is very clear, we appeal to all of you, the commissioners, to see if we can avail ourselves with poll workers in the runoff election and also poll observers.
The CEC says it'll address the matter with its legal counsel. Meanwhile, the runoff election results will be hand-counted because there isn't enough time to order ballots for the tabulation machines. The ballots will be printed locally. The parties and the community also hoping it won't take more than 20 hours from polls closing to get the final results like on November 8. What caused that delay?
The delay is the absentee, the process of absentee, and then also in regards to the ballots that weren't marked correctly. That's why the machine was spitting it out, and it had to go to the board to make that correction.
Commissioners have to check the absentee voters' affidavit and ensure ballots aren't exposed.
It's unfortunate that it happened. You know, in my standpoint, I would like to see it done earlier than what we expected.
The first day of early voting is November 18, and the last day to receive runoff election ballots postmarked on or before Election Day is December 9. Tomas Manglotnya for KUAM News on Saipan.
And we have more news coming up. Keep it here. You're watching KUAM.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
A 4-year-old daughter who goes to lots of learning daycare. So with the rising cost of living, it helps tremendously with bills. I don't have to worry about paying for childcare services. Knowing that this program is offered to our people, most especially our children, I think something to definitely be grateful for. I learned about Program Panilan from the mayor's offices here, and my initial reaction to the program, I was actually in disbelief that this program offered free childcare services to our people. I wanted to give my mom a break for a little bit, so when I found out about the program, I jumped right on it. I was relieved because childcare at no cost. I'm thankful for this program because I don't have to worry about an extra set of bills coming my way. I'm grateful to the governor, the lieutenant governor, everyone behind the scenes that made this happen.
Need help paying for childcare? Guam families can receive financial support through Programan Pinilan. Learn more and apply at guamchildcare.com.
The all-new Hyundai Tucson.
Howdy, folks. Nobody loves a Guam potluck more than I do. That's why I always bring my world-famous chicken, served any way you like it. Original recipe, extra crispy tenders, Kentucky Fried Wings, and more. All right. And nothing completes a meal like KFC's signature sides. Hot mashed potatoes with gravy, coleslaw, and a flaky biscuit. The world's favorite chicken, right here on the island, and only at KFC Guam. Whoops! Well, it is finger-looking good.
Fast, fun, and easy. That's how your home Wi-Fi should be. So start with an internet plan that fits your budget. Introducing your home Wi-Fi starter pack, also known as WISP. Enjoy up to 25 megabits per second for as low as $35 a month. Plus, a free router with your wireless subscription. That's hours of movies, games, social media, and more endless fun. Get your Wi-Fi starter pack today only at Docomo Pacific. Better together. Additional conditions may apply.
What you need to know from the Northern Marianas. Follow KUAM CNMI on Instagram for the latest regional headlines.
Welcome back. How to cash in on the billions of dollars in military spending for the relocation of U.S. Marines from Okinawa to Guam. That was the focus of a major forum today, sponsored by the Society of American Military Engineers. Nestor Lecanto reports.
The forum brings together military, federal government, and Japanese government officials to discuss the wide-ranging needs in a project of this magnitude. Moving the Marines out of Japan has been more than a decade in the making and will take several more years before the transition is complete. Governor Lulian Guerrero was one of the keynote speakers to open the forum. She's counting on the buildup to help boost the local economy as the #1 tourism industry recovers.
We are looking at pumping in $1.6 billion a year for the next 5-10 years. You multiply that by 5%, and very simply, and of course it's very rudimentary calculation, but you'll see those revenues coming in, and of course we'll pump it right out to our public services. Yes, that's the interim, that's the bridge, and of course we're working to again bring back our robust economy with tourism. You'll see tourism increasing. Korea, as you see, is here, and we're looking for Japan, and of course Taiwan will be coming, and of course the other Asian countries.
In her speech, the governor also noted that the buildup is also likely to push up the costs of housing rentals, and discussions are underway, she says, with military leaders to try and minimize the impact.
The military is very aware of that. They are working to see how we can stabilize that and balance that out, because we don't want to see our civilians, being pushed out of the rental market because they can't afford it. I know that housing is going to be a big challenge and is going to be a priority, and I know that they are renovating houses in the base, and they are also going to be, I think, building more housing. We are within the JRM committee going to be addressing that.
She also acknowledged that building yet another major U.S. military installation in Guam adds to the proverbial target that's already on Guam's back by potentially hostile rivals.
I think the military is doing everything to protect our island, protect not just their military bases, but also our civilian. They have made that commitment. We continue to be part of the United States, and as a result of that, it's a beneficial working situation, I think.
For KUAM News, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
The decision to approve or disapprove a pro-life bill should not be left up to a lame duck legislature. Outgoing Senator Talina Nelson's heartbeat bill, which bans abortions in Guam once a fetal heartbeat is detected, has been reported out of committee and could hit the session floor. Senator-elect Will Parkinson saying the decision shouldn't be left to a group where more than a third of the members are on their way out. He's calling on Speaker Therese Terlahi to let the incoming body decide on the issue.
I don't think it's right that 40% of the legislature is outgoing, and they're going to make such a monumental decision without any electoral consequences or being answerable to the people of Guam at all. And I know they're allowed to do it, but this is one of those situations where I'm not sure if they should.
Parkinson saying the fate of the bill should be left up to the next legislature, who will have the public to answer to should their decision not be in the best interest of the majority. His personal preference is that the measure not be brought up to the session floor at all.
I hope it's just the sort of bill nobody wants to touch, because as you saw during regular session when they had electoral consequences to face, it was never brought up. There was ample time for it during the election season. And often one of the things people complain about is politicians only do things during election season. So, I mean, if they are so proud of what they are doing, why are they doing it after the election season?
In response, Speaker Terlahi stating it's now up to the members of the Rules Committee to decide whether or not to act on the measure. Separately, Speaker Terlahi also introduced legislation to extend the Programan Ajuda para Itatautal energy credit program for another 5 months. If passed, GPA customers will receive a $100 credit every month from December through April 2023. The current program, established by the governor, expires next month. Terlahi's bill proposes to use unappropriated general fund revenues collected in excess of fiscal year 2022 adopted revenues, which amounted to about $103 million. Senators have already appropriated against that amount, but the speaker says there's still about $47.5 million left. Her bill would appropriate $26.3 million to GPA for the energy credit program. Health officials say diabetes remains among the top causes of deaths on the island. That's why efforts are ongoing to teach the community about the do's and don'ts for someone who either has it or is likely to get it. Daniel Perez has more on the 23rd Annual Guam Diabetes Conference held in Tumon this weekend.
It's the 6th leading cause of death on island. Diabetes remains a top health problem that health experts say contributes to the top 2 leading causes of death on Guam, heart disease and stroke. On Saturday, the Guam Diabetes Association held its 23rd Annual Guam Diabetes Conference at the Hilton Resort, with this year's theme being Who Cares for Diabetes. Dr. Carla Silverio Fernando was among 3 diabetes experts brought in from the Philippines to speak at the event.
As I've said in my lecture, heart failure is very prevalent. It's very common among patients with diabetes, and sometimes we don't feel anything or we don't recognize it. There are some studies showing that asymptomatic or heart failure without symptoms have been seen in a significant number of patients with diabetes. But when we start feeling something, that's already the more advanced stages of heart failure.
She says what you eat plays an important role.
You have to approach your diet in a way that is acceptable to you. You have to have, of course, compromise with yourself, but it still has to be acceptable. So, for example, for your favorite kinds of food, sometimes you can still eat them, but you have to just eat them in portions or do portion control.
Dr. Silverio Fernando adds 3 common causes of diabetes include obesity, lack of exercise, and a poor diet. She encourages eating more vegetables and less carbohydrates. Daniel Perez, KUAM News.
An event first of its kind, the Chamorro people tracing their family roots during a workshop held over the weekend. Mitsuki Hirayama has the story.
Do you know your roots? Chamorro historians, genealogists, and participants gathering for a 2-day Chamorro genealogy workshop at the Guam Community College Saturday. Participants sharing experiences, tracing their family roots, and resources to help others do the same. Each one proudly displayed their family history, trees, and photos. In partnership with the Chamorro Roots Genealogy Project by Bernard Punzalan, Commission Ifino Chamorro is the co-sponsor. Commission member Dr. Laura Sauter shares why the workshop is important to the Chamorro people.
You know, roots imply that you're deeply entrenched in the land, right? And we are Tautautano, so the people of the land. So those roots into this land, into our homeland, are very important as part of our concept of identity, our concept of belongingness, our concept of connectedness to our history, to our ancestors, and to those who come beyond us, you know, to the children that are going to be born in the future.
She adds that genealogy legitimizes the historical experience of the Chamorro people.
We have a table where we have on display some of the stuff that we make through the Guam Bus. It's a creative company where we make children's books, Chamorro language flashcards, a bingo game for the Chamorro language comic books.
The books are inspired by the stories passed down from his grandparents, who first taught him to speak Chamorro.
Everyone wants to know where they come from, and it's such a satisfying thing just to learn a little bit more about where you come from. And collecting those stories from your elders can be so enriching.
Mitsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
Now for a look at your world at home. Here's a view captured of the Sunday sunset off Hagat, a gorgeous end of the weekend at the gateway to the south. The Guam National Weather Service predicting Tuesday will be partly cloudy with isolated showers and a 20% chance of rain.
Guam is good, Guam is hot, Guam is just such a little spot.
Introducing the new Choice Bundles from GTA. Choose from the services you want and save big when you bundle. Fast internet, digital TV that you stream anywhere, and digital home phone for Guam's most reliable network. The more you choose, the more you save. Over $1,000 a year. And for a limited time, bundle Internet 75 or higher and get a $100 account credit. Visit GTA.net and use our bundle calculator to see how much you can save. GTA, we start with you.
Enjoy the deliciously saucy McRib. Only for a limited time and only at McDonald's.
The legendary McRib is back. Pair it with fries and a drink for a limited time.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. I'll get to some news on our men's national basketball team taking care of business in India. But first off, some mixed martial arts highlights from Brawl 2. Check it out. Kelvin Fitzgerald is back in the win column. Fitzgerald faced Ben Schneider in a heavyweight matchup at Brawl 2, held at the Dusitani Resort. Fitzgerald picked up the win in the first round. Kelvin landing some heavy shots and caught Schneider with the right hand. Fitzgerald jumps all over him and kept landing some shots, forcing the referee to call the fight after Schneider was unable to respond back. Roki Martinez, 15-8-2, took on Japan fighter Yuichi Yokoyama, 4-2 as a pro. Roki landing at will on the feet. Yokoyama tries to shoot but gets stuffed by Martinez. Roki gets inside control and works his way to get the back of Yokoyama. Roki picks up the win via rear naked choke in round 1. Turning over to some soccer news, Olivet Nazarene University won the CCAC tournament title with the 2-0 win over Cardinal Stritch. Former FD standout soccer player and Guam Youth National Team member Nainoa Norton scored a goal late in the match to help his team secure the win. The Tigers play in the Chicagoland Collegiate Athletic Conference of the NAIA. Our men's national basketball team improved to 2-0 in the FIBA Asia Cup 2025 pre-qualifiers held in India. Guam held on to the 67-64 win against Hong Kong to advance. Jericho Cruz led Guam with 23 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists. Ernest Ross and Jonathan Galloway both chipped in with 13. Jamar White added 10. Dr. Robert Underwood, Jerry Tan, Larry Gamboa, and Michelle Cruz Tyson-Pick were all inducted into the UOG Athletic Hall of Fame. Also, the 1977 Undefeated UOG football team, 10-0, was inducted as the first team recipient of a UOG Athletic Hall of Fame spot, who won the Guam Football League in 1977, and the team was represented by 6 former players on the team.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Want a real taste of New York? The classic New York pizza offers a big, bold taste that's a Guam favorite. It's handmade with 16 inches of foldable crust, a sweet marinara sauce, and your favorite topping. And at 30% larger than our large, classic New York pizza is only $10.99 for carryout. Bring together your family and friends for a classic New York pizza party. Each pizza is just $10.99 for carryout. Classic New York pizza. So close, you can taste it. Only at your island Pizza Hut.
I can't make that amount work right now. Mom, what is it? Can I get new basketball shoes? We'll see.
Can I please have $20 for my field trip?
I don't know. Can I go to my friend's house after school?
Anak, hindi pwede.
We're all trying our best to make ends meet. The governor's child care programs are helping businesses and working families care for Guam's kids. This ad is paid for with funds administered by the Department of Public Health and Social Services. Visit guamchildcare.com to apply today.
Well, it was a fun day of play Saturday at GCC's 9th Annual Global Cardboard Challenge. Right from the entrance, cardboard signs and arrows showing the way to make sure you don't get lost there. Children playing games and activities all made out of cardboard and other upcycled materials made by GCC's early childhood education students and GW High students. Melissa Palomo is early childhood education instructor at GCC.
I used to think it's like a Chuck E. Cheese in the past because you feel the energy with children just running around and just touching everything. But that's the beauty of this, is that if it breaks, then it's okay. We could make another one. We didn't spend a lot of money on it.
She adds the Cardboard Challenge not only promotes creativity and imagination, it's also a great opportunity for education students to work with the children. You can see just that with a group of the students ASL signing to the story of Pete the cat. The children also making some fun creations of their own. Finally tonight, your Cold Stone Creamery birthday shoutouts you submitted on KUAM.com.
Happy birthday wishes on this November 14th. And guys, we have a lot of birthdays, so let's get right into it. Debbie Españo Smith, happy birthday, blessing sissy. We love and miss you plenty for your Guam familia. David Duenas, Biba cumpleaños. Popping time, Gutsing, from Mr. B, Mary, Regis Borja, and the rest of the Friday popping team. All right, pop lock. Gotta get it. Quinn J. Stilgato, happy 12th birthday to Quinn. We love you so much. Enjoy your special day. Love the entire family. KUAM kids forever. And Ken Borja, not exactly a KUAM kid, but a KUAM man, and dare I say, the man around here. Our chief engineer, Ken, man, we would not be even running, much less like the facility wouldn't even be standing up if it wasn't for you, man. You know how special you are. We appreciate you, bro. We love you. You are absolutely invaluable. All right, belated birthday wishes now. Jacine Ali Hope Indelatio, happy birthday, baby girl, from daddy, mommy, and your sisters. Vicente Leon Girl Kinata, happy 86th birthday, Tata and Dad. We wish you a wonderful birthday filled with love and happiness. We love you more. Your children, grandchildren, and great-grands. Axel Jose Cordero Sablan, happy 9th birthday. Love, Mia, Peyton, Mac, Nana, Lola, Mommy, Dad, and the Sablan familias on Guam. Logan J. Pareto, happy birthday to Logan. Love Auntie Lonnie and the Pareto family in Jotna Rules. Orlean Ignacio, we love you and wish you the best, and we hope you enjoyed your weekend celebration. Love your family. And lastly, but certainly not leastly, Raymond Macias. Happy birthday, Ray. We love you so much and hope you had an amazing birthday with family and friends. That's the best, isn't it? We love you always, says your family. Happy birthday to everybody.
And that's our show. Thank you so much for being here with us. I'm Nick Delgado. Stay safe and good night.
KUAM News Hotspot.
More, get more. Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
All right, everybody. Half a day. I'm Jason Salas. This is the Hotspot. Let's go. This is our Monday edition.
The menu, brought to you by King's Restaurant, always open, always local, and Ruby Tuesday Guam, home of the Fresh Garden Bar.
All right, we're going to take you up to the CNMI where plans for a runoff election are underway. Nationally, tragedy in the air as two military planes collided during an air show. Also, we give you Guam news as we check in with Mr. Lecanto, who is at the Guam Industry Forum down in Tumon, and we're going to give you your island weather forecast. But the election season continues apparently up in the CNMI as Tomas Manglonia joins us live in the KUAM News Zoom room. He has the very latest with the gubernatorial race as well as the runoff race. Tomas joins us right now.
Yes, Jason, November 8 is officially in the history books, but it could be a few more weeks until the NMI knows who will be the next governor and lieutenant governor of the CNMI. As we reported, there's now a runoff election as no candidate garnered more than 50% of the votes in the November 8 general election. And already in this narrow race, it's getting heated and tense as the gloves are off. Recently in a press conference, we're in a unique situation. Both candidates addressing that the race is between Republicans, Governor Ralph Torres, who's the sitting governor, and his running mate, Senator Vinny Sablan, and the sitting lieutenant governor running under the independent camp with Saipan Mayor David Apatang. We got a chance to speak with both of them recently at a press conference and wanted to share these interviews in which each of them comment on the ongoing affairs of the Commonwealth as they're still sitting in office.
No secret. Throughout the pandemic, I was the only one working. I mean, if you want to be honest and for me to straight out, you never see a lieutenant governor in anything. He's afraid to go, and I'm going to be straight down. He's afraid to go to any of the COVID sites. He's afraid to go to the airport. He's afraid to even visit any of the first responders.
Because I've been very patient and been very civil in those questions I've been asked, and to me those statements are real childish, really childish and almost sophomoric, juvenile nonsense. You know, the fact of the matter is that what does it take for me to be present in any of these post-disaster situations? I've been out there, just like he was. And I've pointed this out. I don't carry around or I don't drag around a press corps with me.
And now, in just a few weeks, we'll have the results after the runoff election on who will be moving out of the governor's office right behind me. And wanted to share some important dates for the CNMI gubernatorial runoff election if you are a local voter or absentee voter in the NMI. November 15 is the last date to mail out the 2022 runoff absentee ballots. November 17 is the last date to receive absentee ballot applications over the counter. November 18 is the first day of early voting. November 24 is the last day of early voting. November 25 is the runoff election day, and December 9 is the last day to receive runoff election absentee ballots. So, Jason, we'll have more tonight on the details of the runoff election on primetime. For now, I'm Tomas Maglonia reporting on Saipan for KUAM.
Guam news now as 42-year-old Michelle Del Rosario has been arrested and charged with family violence. It's a misdemeanor charge. A magistrate's complaint said on November 8th she was a passenger in a vehicle and began to argue with the driver. She then allegedly wrapped her arm around the driver's neck and tried to take the keys. The woman was ultimately able to escape. When police arrived, she admitted to assaulting the driver and also smoking ice in the morning. She said she destroyed the pipe before police arrived. During her arrest, Del Rosario was on pretrial release for a family violence charge and had a warrant issued for failing to appear for her arraignment. There is good news for island residents waiting for their tax returns. As Reventax processed, the Department of Administration mailed checks paid by direct deposit 402 individual tax refunds totaling over $1.8 million for 2021 and prior error-free returns that were filed before October 24th. Tax refund payments continue to be processed weekly and within 2 weeks of filing error-free returns. If you have any questions or concerns about your refunds, you're encouraged to check out guamtax.com. Well, a pair of military planes collided and crashed during an air show in Dallas on Saturday. The 6 people on board are feared dead. The mayor said while the number of casualties are not yet confirmed, no spectators or others on the ground were injured.
Oh my God.
Flames and smoke filled the sky after the two vintage military planes collided and smashed to the ground below. Authorities say the World War II era aircraft, a Boeing B-17 Flying Fortress and a Bell P-63 King Cobra, crashed into each other. The tragedy struck Saturday at a Veterans Day weekend air show at the Dallas Executive Airport, just miles from the city's downtown. The National Transportation Safety Board is taking control of the scene, and the FAA is also involved in the investigation. The Wings Over Dallas Air Show was produced by an organization called Commemorative Air Force.
The families are being taken care of. They're receiving counseling. Not just of those actively participating in the issue, but also the CAF folks and any folks here that may have seen it and have issues with what they saw.
The King Cobra, a U.S. fighter plane, was used mostly by Soviet forces during World War II. The B-17 is a 4-engine bomber and remains one of the most celebrated warplanes in U.S. history. Cristian Benavides, CBS News.
Elsewhere, the president's in Egypt speaking with foreign leaders about climate change. It's his first stop on a round-the-world trip that includes a meeting with Southeast Asian leaders in Cambodia and a group of people meeting in Bali. Here's the very latest.
President Biden told those gathered in Egypt for UN climate talks that the U.S. plans to lead the way globally in the battle to cut greenhouse emissions.
Thanks to the actions we've taken, I can stand here as President of the United States of America and say with confidence, the United States of America will meet our emissions targets by 2030.
This is the president's first international climate summit since the passage of the Inflation Reduction Act, which includes the largest single federal investment to fight climate change.
These critical steps are already locking in vital investments in our infrastructure, delivering lower costs for clean energy.
The Inflation Reduction Act passed over the summer directs nearly $400 billion to climate and energy provisions aimed at reducing emissions by around 40% by 2030. But overseas, the president is expected to face questions about how the U.S. plans to help developing countries pay for damages caused by wealthier countries' pollution and fund the transition away from fossil fuels.
We are on a highway to climate hell.
On Monday, the United Nations Secretary General issued a stark warning, saying the world was losing its battle against climate change.
And our planet is fast approaching tipping points that will make climate chaos irreversible.
Earlier, President Biden held a bilateral meeting with Egypt's president to discuss the two-nation strategic partnership, the Israel-Palestinian conflict, and regional security issues. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
When we come back, we take you over to Tuman, where Nestor Locato is standing by. He is attending the Guam Industry Forum, and he'll give you a very interesting report on what's going on down in the island's tourism capital. That is coming up next.
My name is Lisa Tahaji. I'm from the village of Yamatic. I lost my job during COVID. For 1 year, I was staying with a family member, but I knew I had to find a place to stay. I was desperately looking for a home. I found out about the Relief Center from the Governor Liu and Lieutenant Governor Josh's Facebook page. I wasn't sure if they could help, but I thought I'd take a chance. I walked into the center and the staff were so understanding and compassionate, they helped me. Within a week, through their assistance, I was called to sign a lease agreement. My kids and I now have a roof over our heads, and I'm grateful for the help of the administration and the Relief Center. For anyone who needs any government assistance, I encourage you to visit the Relief Center. They are there to help.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience. Subscribe to our KUAM News Digest, our weekly email newsletter with all kinds of information straight to your inbox. Just subscribe and we'll make sure to keep you informed and entertained with news from the KUAM News team, what to watch on NBC and CBS, and the latest promotions from KUAM Communications. Go to KUAM.com, click on the newsletter tab at the top of the homepage, register, and you're all set. Brought to you by Uno Go, Guam on Demand.
Days, our friends at the Dusitani Guam Resort on beautiful Tumon Bay will play host to the Guam Industry Forum. It's being held to provide networking and business opportunities for contractors and service providers throughout Asia, as well as the U.S., Guam, and Micronesia, during which time they will network, collaborate, and avail of opportunities to support the historic increase in America's strategic position within the region. Now, we are going to go take you there live where Nestor Lecanto has been all morning, and a wealth of information. So let's go now live in the KUAM News Zoom room to Nestor. How's Ness?
Reporting live here from the Society of American Military Engineers, the Guam Industry Forum, one of the key major events of this type of the year. Among the keynote speakers for the forum was Governor Lou Leon Guerrero, who we managed to speak to. She talked about the impact, the implications of the military buildup, the relocation of Marines from Okinawa to Guam, and she acknowledged that there is substantial impact economically. We are relying a lot on the billions of dollars that will be poured into the island over the next 5 to 10 years. Admiral Nicholson mentioned the fact that the DoD expects to spend about $1 to $2 billion a year for the next 7 to 10 years. The governor also acknowledged that there are other implications, such as, for example, Guam would become a target of hostile forces, but she said Guam has long been a target. She pointed to World War II, where Guam was in fact invaded. So that is nothing new, but she said the military is spending billions of dollars again on defense, a missile defense system for Guam. She also said that one of the other impacts is on housing, and she says they are working closely with the military to deal with the housing, affordable housing issue. She said that the military is looking into building more on-base housing for their personnel so that they don't have to go out into the civilian population, and because of the allocations that they get, that they won't be driving up, if you will, the prices for the local population. We also will be hearing from Ms. Ayumi Sakaguchi. She's a representative of the Japanese Ministry of Defense. She's going to be talking about what are the implications for civilian and military collaboration in construction of a project as huge as the Marine buildup. She talks about the unique collaboration between the governments of Japan and the United States in funding this. As you may know, Japan has spent several billion dollars, has kicked in several billion dollars for the construction of the Marine Corps base. So that is one of the things that she will be discussing. We also have representatives from the military talking about the different phases and how companies, contractors can get involved and maybe become a part of that and get some of the business, which is the main purpose of the forum, is to have the military, DoD, government officials appear to talk about how the private sector can take advantage of this huge military buildup and the billions of dollars that will be spent on Guam to construct Marine Corps base Camp Laws in the next 5 to 10 years. That's all we've got from Dusitani. Reporting it for KUAM, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
All right, thanks so much, Nestor. Big word, the key word basically being opportunity, and of course good to see our communities out there taking advantage of that. Nestor, of course, will have more tonight on Prime Time if you wish. All right, time for now News Bites, where we bring you the very latest happening on island. And if you are a fan of action movies, sci-fi, superhero movies, including Star Wars, Avatar, and the Avengers, and Frozen, for those of you who like musicals, myself included, you're probably not aware that these movies required the use of hardcore mathematics to bring them to life. The Division of Math and Computer Science at UOG is inviting the public to take a look behind the movie scenes with visiting mathematician Michael Dorf and its annual Math Day. The event's free and is open to you and I, and begins at 8:30 a.m. on Saturday the 19th with a math quiz competition between 7th to seniors, covering basic algebra, pre-calculus, and calculus. Anytime I see that symbol for integrals, I'm like, okay, mind blown. All right. Take Care Insurance recently received notice of its renewal of accreditation compliance to the Accreditation Association for Ambulatory Health Standards. It's a private nonprofit organization that has been around for almost 50 years. It's a leader in developing standards to advance and promote patient safety, quality care, and ambulatory health care through accreditation processes, education, and research. Congratulations to our friends at Take Care. Well done. And the Guam Child Care Art Contest has begun and will accept submissions beginning November 22nd. The art and coloring contest is open to all elementary and middle school kids, including those who are homeschooled, with contest rules, elementary coloring sheets, and more available for download online at guamchildcare.com. Also, the Leon Guerrero administration announced the recruitment of a new OBGYN at the Department of Public Health and Social Services, improving support for women's health and building on initiatives to increase the inventory of medical specialists on Guam. Dr. Megan Klosek serves as the head of the Department of OBGYN, the U.S. Navy Medicine Readiness and Training Command Guam. She'll work part-time when off duty. Thank you for your service to us. All right, when we come back, your island weather.
I'll be back in a sec.
We can't wait forever. All your nacho fries, please. Can't be mad. We got you nacho fries.
Made with Mexican spices, made for nacho cheese sauce, only at Taco Bell.
MTO Maintenance will now completely sanitize your home, office, or business with state-of-the-art commercial sprayers. For over 30 years, MTO Maintenance has been committed to the health and safety of our customers. And now, more than ever, a clean home, office, carpets, and furniture is a necessity to our island. Give us a call today. Stay healthy and stay safe, Guam.
Call 647-6861 for an appointment.
The all-new Hyundai Tucson.
All right, Hafaday, and welcome back to the Hotspot, everybody. Jonah Goncharfis has a wonderful story now about a local guy with some island roots who is making big waves out in Tinseltown, finding his passion, doing what he loves, and really representing our island culture. Here's a look.
When I last spoke with former Agana Heights resident Freddie Gutierrez, he was hard at work penning scripts for Sonic Boom on the Cartoon Network and Disney's Liv and Maddie. Fast forward 6 years later, and Gutierrez is still doing what he loves, writing. He says it was during the pandemic when he got a job at Nickelodeon for the show Young Dylan, which is a project with Tyler Perry's company.
And I got a call to work on Santiago of the Seas, which is Nick Jr.'s show. They call it Bridge, which I guess is in between kindergarten and then like elementary school, kind of. And so I was working on Young Dylan pretty much all of last year, like 2 different seasons. And then this year I got the call to be on That Girl Lele for their 2nd season.
Gutierrez is excited and most proud of an upcoming 11-minute episode of Santiago of the Seas that he wrote last year, and it's set to run on November 17th.
You know, the show is about, it's like this magical pirate kids in the Caribbean. The showrunners and the executives were gracious enough to let me pitch an idea about a young Chamorro girl who gets magically transported to that part of the world. And then she teaches them a little bit about her culture and how to navigate. It's kind of like almost like a mini Chamorro Moana, where she kind of teaches them how to navigate, not using like compasses and stuff like that, but using nature the way our ancestors did. Her canoe was damaged. So she teaches them how to build a glider. And then they came up with this really catchy song about let's build a glider. And she's speaking Chamorro to them. She's teaching them how to count in Chamorro. I'm really excited for Guam to see Guam and all of the Marianas to see this because, yes, our culture is right there.
The young girl is named Ha'ani, and she has a pet. Gutierrez wanted to address this particular element just in case he gets called out. Although he wanted her to have a pet hermit crab, the show already had a model and design for a crab. So the crab's name is Duk Duk.
I know that's a hermit crab. I know people are going to be like, that's not a hermit crab.
But he will admit, one of the moments he touts as a dream come true was working with DMC from Run DMC on an episode with That Girl Lele.
I grew up listening to them, and I mean, it was cool to talk about. We actually ended up becoming cool. Like we might be working on some other projects together now. So, but he's just an amazing guy, and to just be around someone who's pretty much like one of the forefathers of hip hop, right? Like, I mean, the guy, him and I mean, Run DMC they were kind of almost the blueprint for hip hop.
And if there is anything he would say to those looking to achieve their dreams, first and foremost, it's putting in the work.
It's believing in yourself, and really like just knowing that you need to tell a story, and you just, again, it's just not taking no for an answer. And at the end of the day, again, I've said this before, if I can make it, then anybody can make it. Learn your craft. Like, I mean, I've from film school to till when I sold my first script, I was working and writing and writing and writing.
Jonah Charfris, KUAM News.
All right, thanks so much, Joan. Well done. All right, please stay tuned because there is much more when we return.
My name is Leonza Selvage, and I have a 4-year-old daughter who goes to lots of learning daycare. So with the rising cost of living, it helps tremendously with bills. I don't have to worry about paying for childcare services. Knowing that this program is offered to our people, most especially our children, I think something to definitely be grateful for. I learned about Programan Panilan from the mayor's offices here. And my initial reaction to the program, I was actually in disbelief that this program offered free childcare services to our people. I wanted to give my mom a break for a little bit, so when I found out about the program, I jumped right on it. I was relieved because childcare at no cost. I'm thankful for this program because I don't have to worry about an extra set of bills coming my way. I'm grateful to the governor, the lieutenant governor, everyone behind the scenes that made this happen.
Need help paying for childcare? Guam families can receive financial support through Programan Panilan.